In this episode, I drink some expensive tiny beers, do some grooming in a lay-by, didn't distress that hiker too much as he walked past, take in the sights and sounds of the Montreux Jazz Festival, and I noticed something really interesting.
Two things I didn't hear last night: an English accent, and I didn't hear any jazz. So I found a big parking lot at the top of the hill to watch the sunset and get ready for my first night.
Right, that's enough of that, it's gone. Time to get into this wine. Just washed the cup for the first time ever. Coffee on top of coffee. Makes no difference really, does it? Wine on top of coffee, however, might do. So let's get this in. And I'm going to have the egg salad. I think everything else would be certainly good for another day. The egg salad, maybe not. So let's get into it. Hint of coffee. Got a good nose. I tell you what, €7 for 3 litres. I'm having that. Well, gonna say it. Salad with Thousand Island dressing and Merlot. Not the greatest combo. That's a lovely drop though. But now it's time to get the glad rags on and get down to Montreux Jazz Festival. All right, let's go get it. Right, a couple of things. I've been here half an hour. This car park was half empty when I got here. It's now completely full. Montreux is busy on a Saturday night during Jazz Festival. Who'd have funked it? I've also just spent the last 15 minutes trying to figure out paying for parking in the morning because that's due to start at 7 a.m. I don't think I'll be awake at 7 a.m. And I figured it all out, downloaded the app, all that kind of stuff. Then realised my French wasn't very good because it's only payable on weekdays and tomorrow's Sunday. So sweet. Wasted 15 minutes but saved several Swiss francs. Right, well I just checked the schedule and things started at 5 o'clock. It's now 10:30. So I might have missed a lot of it. Anyway, the good thing about the Montreux Jazz Festival is it's 30th of June to 15th of July. Over 2 weeks of events going on here. So if I've missed today, then I'll come back tomorrow. It's all good.
Beers were tiny and the queues were long, so I decided to buy 3 at a time as I settled in to enjoy the music and atmosphere. I tried some other bars and clubs, but eventually walked back up the hill past this very strange car. What is that? Morning team, coffee, red wine. It's not the best for me, you know, even at €7 for 3 litres. There was 2 things I didn't hear last night: an English accent, or actually any English being spoken at all, aside from people speaking back to me in English from behind the bar and stuff like that when my French failed me. And I didn't hear any jazz. So it seems like a bit of a misnomer, the Montreux Jazz Festival. All good. Anyway, trying to figure out the plan for today. Could leave town because last night was fun. There's no need to do any more of that really. But I think I'm going to hang around a little bit longer and wait and see. So I'm going to go and find a cafe, park up there, have some aircon, have some Wi-Fi, have some charging of devices, a bit of food, a bit of drink, and then we'll figure out the plan from there. Montreux Jazz Festival could be one and done.
Nice few hours in that quite poncy and expensive cafe, but it had lightning fast Wi-Fi and the coffee was delicious. And it has also meant that my mind's nice and clear now, so I know what to do. There's a lot going on at the festival this afternoon. There's like 7 or 8 different stages, and I only saw one last night, so I'm definitely going to have to get in and go and see some more of that. But first I need to sort this barnet out because it is ridiculous at the moment. So that's job number 1, which I've come up into the hills for. and I was hoping I was going to have a nice view all the way out over the lake from wherever I stopped, but there doesn't seem to be anywhere good to stop that's also got the view, so we'll get to that. And yeah, so here's my mirror, here's what I'm going to be using, and haircut, trim the old beard, and shower right there. Then we'll get back down to the festival and go and check out all the other stages. Feel absolutely magic now. Didn't distress that hiker too much as he walked past. Okay, let's get into town. When I went for that swim yesterday, I cut all my foot open. I could feel it at the time, like on the little shells on the rocks. But because the water just washed all the blood away, you couldn't really see it. And then I woke up this morning and my foot looks like being attacked by a shark. But that's enough of that. OnlyFans paid for any more of that stuff. Alrighty, some Montreux Jazz Festival facts for you. It was started in 1967 by a bloke called Claude Nobbs, which I find hilarious because his surname is Nobbs. And the only other person I've ever known with the surname of Nobbs is Brian Nobbs out of the Nasty Boys in the WWE. And he just did it as a way of waking up this sleepy little Swiss town. And like so many of the world's best bands have played here. It is quite insane. And super fun fact, Deep Purple's Smoke on the Water was actually written about their performance here. There was a song about when they played here, and I'm guessing the mist was coming off the lake, and that was why Smoke on the Water was written. And you know that song, everyone knows that song. Dum 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 dum. All guitar players know that song because it's one of the first anthems that you can easily learn to play. 1967, yeah, so it's its 57th year this year. There was a BBC documentary about it, 3-part documentary about it earlier this year. And some thoughts from my night out last night was that there is a wide range of ages, types of people, like just wildly vast, diverse array of humans that have come to this. And they reckon 250,000 people come every year, which is huge. Heard no English, which was lovely, really refreshing, which makes me think, like, how many Brits ever go to the Montreux Jazz Festival? Like, have you been? Like, let me know in the comments down below if you've been to the Montreux Jazz Festival. And the other thing I didn't hear any of was jazz. So I'd need to get to the bottom of that, because was it all jazz originally? Like, a lot of the bands, the famous bands that I know have been here are sort of rock bands, so I'm going to find out about that at some point. We're heading back into the parking mayhem. Doesn't seem quite as busy as it was yesterday, although it's probably quite hard to tell, to be honest. You can hear the music down there already. Sweet. Well, I was hoping this was going to be easier today, but it doesn't seem to be. There's just loads of people cruising around, looking for parking spots that are anywhere reasonably close to the festival. I mean, I'd happily walk a couple of miles, to be honest. It's not a problem, but I just can't find a spot anywhere. There's one, just missed out on that. You a space? Yes! Wicked. All right, I might try and park this a little better though. I was literally just get in as quick as you can job there. Righto, let's go and see what we need to do for a ticket. Right, I learnt this earlier. Yours ouvrables is our working days, which means, I believe, it's free parking. And then it was off back into the festival with the art stalls, people playing music everywhere, and just a hubbub of creativity. This magnificent bronze statue of Freddie Mercury commemorates Freddie's time in Montreux. He loved it here, so much so that Queen recorded 5 albums in Montreux. Freddie said, "If you want peace of soul, come to Montreux."
Just let it be. When you me, you are not me.
Would you call me when the sun goes down? Lights come home and you feel alone. Would you call me when you're far away? 'Cause you make my head a simple day.
The incredible stage is right on the lake, more sumptuous food stalls than you could ever need, and even Zumba. So that's the end of my 24 hours at the Montreux Jazz Festival. So good to have a night out last night and then go and see all the other stages today. Some wicked stages, really good acts. Love the DJs, great energy they had. And the dance class, that looked a lot of fun as well. But one beer in the Montreux Palace Hotel cost 13 Swiss francs. And I deliberately went out, before I went out last night, I deliberately didn't check the exchange rate. So I really had no clue how much a Swiss franc was. And I did that because I didn't want to know what I was spending so that I could enjoy myself. My tip is, if you come here for more than a couple of days and you're not uber rich, bring a packed lunch or think about remortgaging your house. But apart from that, it is wicked, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable scenes here as the sun's setting over Lake Geneva, and just a really fun, relaxed setting, crowd, people. Haven't heard one British accent. So if you've enjoyed this video and you want to help other people find it, give it a little thumbs up down below, and while you're there, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week when I'm going to be at a very different festival. And why is it still called a jazz festival? Well, it was originally a festival for just jazz music, but it opened up in the 70s and it's now described as a platform for creative freedom and encounters. However, the famous name remains.